waiters, but I mean that was clearly who the Cavs were going for. I think we all know how that happened. Love his game. John Wall too as well. It's going to be a good one here tonight, 8 p.m. on ESPN. If you guys are probably figuring that out at least once a week. The Cavs are on ESPN here this season. Every time I turn around, I get to hear my favorite announcer, Jeff Van Gundy, talking about the Cavaliers. I'll give him some credit the other night, though, man. He was pulling out some old school wrestling references the other night. I think he was talking about Haystacks, Calhoun, and Man Mountain Mike. So I'll give him some credit. While Hulk Hogan was at the game, what you gonna do, brother? Hulkster at the game promoting some upcoming event at the Q the other night. But I like the picture. I don't know if you guys saw it. The one with him and AC. That was just that was good. AC making a little pose and then. And Hulk Hogan doing their thing, but good times. All right, Cavs and Wizards tonight, and it's going to be important to see now how they bounce back. You've dropped 2 in a row. I like a lot of the stuff we talked about that we saw from the Cavaliers defensively the other night. Offensively, not so much, as we talked about. So tonight, Cavs and the Wizards, and we're going to be looking for, I got to tell you, still looking to see how the rotations work out, looking to see what contributions you get off of the bench here, obviously. And as well, you know what? Kyrie Irving, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier this week. I thought that the game the other night against San Antonio was the best defensive game I've personally ever seen Kyrie Irving play. I know Coach Blatt said it was his best of the year, but I'm going to go further, man. Go name me some other games where Kyrie played defense like he did the other night. Diving, laying out for balls, steals, tips, all of that stuff. Really making himself known defensively on Tony Parker. A lot of that, Tony Parker going 2 for 7, a lot of that was the defense that was being played on him. So it's one night. It's one game. But I said the jig is up. You've proven it now. Now you've got to go out there and do that 82 nights a week, because if he does, watch out. Watch out. That will unlock a different part of his game, and that's the other thing. Talking about the Miami formula, that's the other side. While I'm done getting mad at LeBron James talking down to his teammates, the defense. When they learn how to make that defense lead the offense, that's where the other secret unlocking of things for this team. It's not a secret. It's just they just have to get out there and do it. So, going to be a lot of fun tonight. Paul Pierce, Nene, Gortat, Bradley Beal, John Wall, mentioned them starting for the Wizards. They're 7-3. Cavs coming in 5-5. Love, James, Varejao, Marion, and of course Kyrie Irving, the starting 5 for the Cavaliers tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN. It's on Sports or Fox Sports as well, Fox Sports Ohio here. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'll tell you, I was going back and forth the other night. As much as I like listening to AC and Fred, sometimes I'm tempted to listen to the national feed just because I like to hear what the non-hometown announcers are talking about. I love AC. I can listen to him all day long, deep in the queue. But sometimes I like to hear what the other guys are saying as well, too. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it only lasts a few seconds, and I quickly flip it back over to my man, Fred McLeod. I mentioned earlier, too, all kinds of stuff with the injuries, not just Cavs, illnesses all around sports, games being moved. In the NBA, I don't know if you guys saw, but they're good luck to the Grizzlies. They're going to have trouble putting a team on the floor here. They've got at least 7 guys down with the stomach virus. We mentioned earlier talking about Steven Jackson and Julio Jones getting sick for the Falcons. Got at least 7 members of the Grizzlies. They were down 5 guys the other night. 2 more have been added to the list. And to compound their problem as they take on the Celtics tonight, they waived 2 of the players that they had signed to protect themselves, so they're even more shorthanded. Tony Allen, Courtney Lee, Udra, John Lure, Costa Cuffus from Ohio State, of course, and Quincy Poindexter, all out for tonight's game there. It's that time of season where you get that kind of thing. But I'll tell you what, I wanted to mention this earlier in the week, and the reason that I didn't is because they were asking people to sit tight on it because they didn't want they didn't want the big media and crowd press if she wasn't able to come. But you guys know we talked about Lauryn Hill earlier in the season. Mount St. Joseph's, remember, they moved the opener of the season up a few weeks early so that Lauryn Hill would be able to play. She was the youngster who developed the uncurable brain cancer, who's given months to live, and as we speak, is pushing the limits of that right now. And she was able to go out there and play. Remember, Xavier allowed them to host the game there. Right now, so far, Lauryn Hill has raised nearly $324,000 in her name through the fundraising that's been done. Well, a bit of an unexpected surprise is that their next game, their actual scheduled game for Mount St. Joseph, is right here. Baldwin-Wallace here this weekend, and she will be healthy enough to travel with the team and be at the game. She won't be able to play, but she will be here at the game as well. And as the coach said, just the fact that she's healthy enough to make the trip, here we are, end of November, and she's with her team, and that's awesome enough right there. So, obviously not going to play. They say as now motor skills are starting to be very affected by the vertigo that she's gotten from the type of cancer that she has, but she's out with her team out here for the game this weekend, and tell you what, should be an emotional sight. As I get a little choked up just thinking about it, man. Because again, I circle back to the beginning of the show. We were talking about the ugliness with Jack Johnson and his parents. The bond between parents and kids, and to think that just when your child's at the point where life is supposed to blossom, instead, it's winding down to a very, very sad early ending. But here's a little bright spot out of that, and good for her to be able to spend another weekend with her team, and the longer she can do that, the better. Lauryn Hill, Mount St. Joseph, out at Baldwin-Wallace here this weekend for playing some basketball. All right, guys, speaking of this weekend, let's look at some things. Obviously, we spent a lot of time talking about the Browns. You don't need me to tell you when they play. They play Sunday, and they got the Buckeyes taking on Indiana here this weekend. I've got some high school football, as I brought up earlier. Not tonight. I'm used to it being on Friday nights. I'm calling the Saturday night game this week on WINT 1330 AM. Of course, also on WINTradio.com. And you can look on TuneIn, where many of you are listening to this show right now, and find 1330's radio dial right there on TuneIn. They're actually calling tonight's game as well. But I will be tomorrow live from InfoCision Stadium. Pre-game starts at 6:45. Game kicks off at 7 p.m. I'm telling you, man, between puck drops and tip-offs and first pitches and kickoffs, I get them all confused. But game starts at 7. Going to be a really good one there. Matt Jaworski is my color commentator tomorrow night, live from InfoCision, as it's Menor and Hudson. Should be a good one there. Regional final game. Looking forward to that. Again, 1330 a.m., WINTradio.com, 1330 a.m. on your tune-in dial. Jackets, that's right. We mentioned them at the beginning of the show, talking about Jack Johnson. Home game tonight against the Bruins, one of the original NBA or NFL. I'm all over the place today. NHL squads. Buckeyes, as we mentioned. CSU Vikings hoops this weekend. There's a ton. This is that time of year, man, where there is a ton of things to get into. To the CSU Vikings next game number 4. On the road in the Global Sports Showcase. They're taking on Savannah State, 4 p.m. Game broadcast on WHKW, my former stomping grounds, AM 1220. Al Pulowski, my buddy, making the call of the game there as the Vikings look to continue, make it 3 in a row since they dropped the first game of the season. Coming off of that 60-46 win over Jacksonville State to begin this tournament. We'll talk more about that on Monday. We'll talk Buckeyes, Cavaliers playing 3 and 4. We've got the Browns and the Falcons. Man, I got a funny feeling it's going to be a busy, busy Monday holiday week coming up next week. I'm going to figure out the schedule, you guys. I'll figure out what days we're going to be off next week, what days we're going to be live. I have no clue right now, to be honest with you. But I hope to have an answer by the time we come back on Monday. Guys, enjoy the weekend. As always, a great show. Thanks to Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com. Thanks to Ryan Ruiz from DogPoundNation.com for joining us. Thanks to each and every one of you guys, my homies over there in the chat box, and all of you listening around the world. Thank you so much for another week here. And, man, another month. We're down to it, man, when we come back on Monday. Here already at the end and heading into December. We know by the snow what time of year it is. Guys, enjoy the weekend and come on back. Let's do it. Same bad time, same channel, live at noon, right here on The Fix. We love you, Cleveland, and beyond. We love all of you, as long as you listen to the show. If you don't, kick it to the curb. But if you listen to the show, I'm kidding. Well, not really. If you listen to the show, we love you. Have a great weekend, and we will see you here Monday. Go Browns, go Cavs, go Buckeyes, go Vikings. We'll see you Monday, live, right here on The Fix.
Yeah, you hear me everywhere, but it's only one of me. Let me make that very clear. Yeah, I'm from that terminal. You can see the lake from here. Faith in my teams, we keep getting closer every year. But we got the king, though, so hopefully we overcome. Yes, I have a dream, and I know I ain't the only one. Modell tried to steal my heart, but we brought it back. Thanks to Cleveland Clinic, now they call them kids the cardiac. Rock Cars, Science Center, Tower City, all of that. Warehouse District, Euclid Corridor, and all the flat. You know that I'm a Tribes fan, and I love Slimans. Crockett Park's the perfect place for me to spend some time in. Baby, this is Cleveland. It is so much more to us. You can even go to Severance Hall to see an orchestra.
Cleveland.